Said it's tough shoes to fill. Great, outstanding player. Tim Duncan, Bill Russell, Kevin Garnett, Kevin Durant. They're all great players.
Got some big shoes to fill and some big roster spots to fill for Red and Blue. Welcome to the show, Gupper and the gang. We are going to talk about the season that was, and we're going to go ahead and look to the season that may be coming up. Say hello to Darryl Bird of the Cats Paws, fresh from a trip to the Final Four where the Cats captured their latest national championship.
Absolutely do appreciate it. I know I'm supposed to do a little take on Louisville at the top of each show. I've been so busy I had to stop and go back and see what they've been up to. And I find out they've had a little Final Four celebration. That's nice. Have a little Final Four celebration. Maybe one day you'll get to have a real celebration from a national championship. But I say that carefully because I can't make too much fun of him, or how he's going to bring up football. I don't want to talk football.
He may bring up football anyway. How is that national championship celebrations next year, right? Because Cal's already said you're number one.
You guys are just showing us how to do it. We'll take over next year and make it bigger and better and nicer. Now, with Kentucky, I mean, what do you make fun of? I mean, they've got the national championship trophy, and I laugh at the crowds that come out to the Krogers and the banks and everything like that. But in reality, I mean, that's amazing. It is amazing how many people come out to see that trophy and to see Coach Cal.
Well, Cal says it's a players program. The fans know it's a fans program, and he did give them a chance to get close to that trophy that it took a whole lot of work to retrieve. Coming up in the show, we're going to talk about the players that helped retrieve that trophy and who made a good choice and who made a bad choice by heading on to the pros as we jump into the lightning round. The lightning round on the Red and Blue Review is brought to you by the Kentucky Office of Highway Safety. One text or call could wreck it all, so get your dialing done before you jump behind the wheel. Well, who made a good choice heading on to pros? This is easy. It's Anthony Davis. The guy is the nation's top player. There's no need for him to come back. There's nothing for him to prove.
I think it's a great opportunity. Me and my family sat down and decided that there's a great opportunity for me to potentially be the first overall pick. And a lot of guys don't get this opportunity. I just like to thank Kentucky, for giving me the opportunity to play basketball here, play on this fantastic team, win a national title. I'm still going to get my education. My mom's still stressing me to get education, so I'm still going to come back, get my education, take classes over the summer.
This is probably going to be a movie someday because 3 years ago he was a 6'3" guard nobody had heard of and nobody wanted. You talk about a mind-boggling spin of what his life has been through, the whirlwind of that. And you're right, he had to go. He's the first Naismith winner ever at Kentucky, won every National Player of the Year award. What else do you come back for except to improve your point guard skills, which Cal jokes about. He's not going to be a point guard in the NBA. So go work on your game, go enjoy your millions, and have a good life.
He said in the interviews after the declaration that he was going to go pro that he seriously considered coming back because he likes school.
They all do.
Come on.
He claims he did not make a final decision until the night before, and Terrence Jones validated. Terrence says, he called me in Portland the night before and said, I have finally decided I'm going.
Wow.
And that's hard to believe.
I'm having a little trouble believing that myself. You're going to be the overall #1 pick. You just became the richest man in the world. Hey, for the University of Louisville, it's not so much who is going to the pros, but it's who's leaving the program, as Jared Swapshire will transfer to Northwestern, and the Bullet, Elisha Justice, is going to play at Pikeville.
Bullet will be going to Pikeville, and we're also very excited about that. Not excited that we're losing him. Excited because he gets the opportunity to come in here and play next year, get his ring when he does come in and play, and also he wants to play major minutes. And I told him, I said, Bullet, we're going to help you get into coaching someday if that's your dream, so you don't have to be here for that. Jared's going to go to Northwestern and play next season, and they need a player of his caliber to play with them.
I think both these guys made a good decision. They're not going to get a whole lot of playing time in next year's Louisville team, so go ahead and go somewhere where you can play a lot of minutes. And really, some of these guys are not future pros. Elisha Justice is a future coach. Jared Swapshire might be a future coach, but they're not going to go to the NBA. So it's all about the college experience for you. And if you're sitting on the bench, it's just not as fun. So go to Northwestern, hopefully have them in the NCAA tournament for the first time ever, and then go to Pikeville. Go back home and be, welcomed with open arms and play for a great program there at Pikeville College.
Howie, at the beginning of this basketball season, it was clear that Swapshire was not going to come back for the next year regardless. Why was that?
You know, I think he's been here for 4 years. I think the other side of that is he plays the same spot as Shane Mahanan.
Okay.
And you're just not going to get a lot of playing time. As good as Shane is now, he's going to get better and better and better. And Jared's limited.
Yeah.
You know.
All right, well, who made a bad choice for going pro early? We really won't know that until we kind of get through the draft and see how these guys acclimate to the professional game. But one thing's for sure, guys like Terrence Jones say they will miss the college life.
He's missing me. This is one of my sons here. My wife, she's gonna be crying when he walks away.
Yeah, like Coach said, I'm gonna miss a lot of things. Coach challenging me and just making me the player I am today. I don't know too many coaches that have pushed me the way he has, and just have expected me to bring it every day, practice and game, and just made me do that. Just helped me as a person and a player. And then just the Big Blue Nation always being there is gonna be real tough to come by. I don't think we're ever gonna get any fan base like that anywhere else.
He nailed it on the head. That's going to be the biggest adjustment for these guys, the adoration that you feel to going to places where if you don't perform, you could very easily get booed. They're never going to have a fan support like they've had these years, and that's what made it really hard. The financial stuff was obvious. You have to go if you're going to be the #1 pick and all that. But the whole fan support, the whole college experience, you're just never going to experience it. Once you step through that door, once they made this announcement that night, that chapter's behind them, and they're never going to have as much fun as they've had this last year or last 2 years in the case of Terrence Jones.
Well, injuries haunted that Louisville basketball team last year en route to that surprise run to the Final Four, and injuries will be a challenge next season. They've already lost Rakeem Buckles for the upcoming season as well.
You know, I really don't know. I know Steven's going to be healthy. Rock's not going to play next year. We're going to sit him out and get him fully. And Mike Mara had much more serious knee surgery than Rakeem had.
So that's 3 guys we're talking about for next season in terms of injuries. Let's just make that. Well, one is Rakeem Buckles, who will not play next year. He injured his knee and is going through that rehab process. Mike Mara is still rehabbing from an injured knee. I think he'll be okay. And Stephen Ventris, the good news for Louisville fans is he's cleared to practice, cleared to play again.
And pray.
And pray. He probably did a lot of praying with that knee injury. But I think he's back to normal. He'll be totally fine during the summer.
Now, Buckles missing 2 years. Can he really come back off a 2-year layoff, Howie?
That's the question. I mean, that really is the question. I mean, one of the things we talked about, earlier this week was how does that work in terms of, like, if Richard's going to Florida International, where Rakeem played high school ball, wouldn't he just go down there for rehab? And Rick said no, he's going to stay here.
Wow. Well, one of the buzzes at the University of Kentucky is they've got to find a way to replace the consensus National Player of the Year, and perhaps they have. Anthony Davis says Nerlens Noel, who will be coming in next year for Kentucky, will be a better shot blocker than he is if Noel can keep his composure in the paint.
You just got to go out there and keep a level head. If guys don't try to do something to hurt you, just go out there and have fun. Just keep your head and just go out there and play hard as you can every game.
Tell me this. What is the most important thing you can do to prepare yourself to play at Kentucky next year?
I'm definitely just getting mentally prepared for all the work that I'm having to put in. When I get there, I know it's not going to be easy. I'm going to come and grind the hardest I can, just be the best player I can be.
It would be easy to dismiss this as hype because Davis is gone and you're trying to make the most out of Nerlens Noel, who is replacing him. But the chatter all the way back before basketball season started is that Noel is a better shot blocker than Anthony Davis is.
Wow, that's hard to believe.
It's incredibly hard to believe that the kid can do that. The whole key is foul trouble. Davis never, one game, got in foul trouble, and otherwise he stayed clear of it because he knew how to block shots and not get the body contact. If Noel can master that, he will push every number that Anthony Davis rewrote. I mean, he rewrote the freshman block record halfway through the season. Noel's going to be hot on his heels to do all that if he can stay out of foul trouble. That's what he's got to learn.
Well, typical sportscaster looking for the dark cloud on every lining. Is there a challenge with Noel? Because if you think about this, last year when Davis came in, it was Terrence Jones's team. He was the preseason All-American. So Anthony Davis was a guy that we kind of got to know. This guy is walking in already being compared to the best player to come along in a generation at Kentucky.
That'll be an interesting challenge to see how his person, of course we haven't met him, we haven't had time to deal with it, but that all comes down to personality. The one thing that is going to help him tremendously and hasn't been talked about as a lot, there's been a rule change now that Cal and the staff can work with all these freshmen a couple hours a week during the summer. So he will have a lot of time to, this is how you do it, this is how you play at this level, this is how you use your body. So he'll be able to catch up or close the gap a lot physically during the summer months. We'll see how it plays out once the glare and the light turns on and all of that stuff. But yeah, it's going to be on him, and I think he's okay with that. Otherwise, you don't wear that haircut if you're not okay being the center of attention.
Well, Darryl talked about it earlier in the show, the fact that Kentucky was celebrating a national championship while Louisville fans were celebrating a Final Four, but Rick Pitino offering no apologies that the Cardinal fans had finally another Final Four to celebrate.
We never got a chance to really interact with the fans in any way. We were sent out to Portland, and not many fans traveled out there. The ones that did, we were very grateful. And then we went immediately. We never came back. We went to Arizona, so we never had the opportunity to interact with the fans for a Big East championship as well as a Final Four appearance. And it'll be a good opportunity for the fans to show their appreciation to a team that will go down as one of my favorites, certainly.
Yeah, I never get the criticism here. If you get a Lamborghini, do you not celebrate because your neighbor's got a Maserati? I mean, you should both be
I don't know that.
I mean, you should both be extremely happy, and be happy for Louisville that they made this an incredible run, and they got the Big East championship, they've got the West Region championship, and there were thousands and thousands of fans at 4th Street Live, and just as happy as they possibly could be to greet the team, and they really were not a whole lot of part of the process because it was so far west, and so this was kind of the fans' chance to get there. Very cool moment. The Cards cheer and Rick Pitino leading the Cards cheer. It's just something you just don't see very often.
Well, we've already talked about who's not going to be playing for Red and Blue next year. When we come back, we'll show you the rosters of the Cats and Cards and ID the key player for both teams. As we head to the break, our key player from Planet Blue, Darryl Bird, talks about his book, Celebrate.
Appreciate it, sir. 136 pages. You can order through magazine.catspaws.com, or you can go to any store. Within a few days, every Walmart in the state of Kentucky is going to have it if you don't want to wait. You've got Walgreens, Kroger, 5-Star Speedway, Circle K. About any place you can think of that sells books is going to have Celebrate in the stands. We do appreciate it very much. Magazine.catspaws.com.
Allstate Ford, 7-time recipient of Ford Motor Company's President's Award for Customer Satisfaction, with 13 Ford certified service technicians and a best-in-class parts department. Business or personal, we are the truck experts. Allstate Ford, on the Waterson at Poplar Level Road.
It's Chevy Truck Month, and now is the time to get your new truck. Bachman has more Chevy trucks than any other dealer, all at fantastic prices. You'll get every Chevy incentive plus exclusive Bachman discounts during Chevy Truck Month. Tremendous selection of Silverados and every dependable Chevy truck. Plus, you save more during Chevy Truck Month with exclusive Bachman discounts. All Chevrolets are created equal. Bachman makes the difference.
At lunch today? I'm gonna text Allison. Hey, hold up, Matt's calling me. Hey, we got the food and we're on our way right now. Hey, who's coming, bro?
Join the club at Sam Swope Auto Group. When you service a vehicle at any Sam Swope dealership, you automatically become a Service VIP Rewards member. You get member pricing on parts and service, lost key return, and emergency roadside assistance. Plus, you can earn points that qualify you for discounts on your next vehicle purchase, up to $2,500. The best part is becoming a member is free. Become a member today at any Sam Swope dealership. Nobody walks away because everybody saves.
The 2012 Bluegrass Golf Tour Card is available now. Play 8 great courses for one amazing price. Call 502-964-2121 or go to shop21live.com to get yours now. Hurry, they won't last long.
Would you say they played for themselves or they played for each other? You know, and it's a great thing for all of us. It's amazing what gets done when no one cares who gets the credit.
That's our business model here at Red and Blue. Daryl and Howie do all the work, and I just cash the checks. Give them the credit, I'll take the cash. Welcome back to the show. We've told you about who's not going to be at Kentucky and Louisville coming up this basketball season. So let's take a look at who will be there in our Game Time storylines. One of the few players that got any playing time at Kentucky this past year in the run for the national championship who will be back is Kyle Wilcher. And Kyle says Kyle is one of those guys who could have gone to another school and got a lot of playing time, but he'd rather come to Kentucky to compete with the best.
Kyle Wilcher could have started for almost every team in the country, would have played 30 minutes a game, but he wanted to come to Kentucky. He comes to Kentucky and now comes off the, now he was a sniper now, he makes some threes on a minute on you, but he came off the bench to do that.
And Kyle Wilcher is interesting. We're talking to Calipari about next year's team and how a lot of these incoming freshmen are saying, hey, let's go win a national title too. We can do what those guys did. Cal very quickly and very accurately pointed out the major difference next year between the team they had this year that won it all and next year's team. Darius Miller, Terrence Jones, Deron Lamb, all played in a Final Four. They had that experience going in. Look at next year's team. Kyle Wilcher is it in terms of experience. 5 points per game, 91% of the scoring is gone. And when you look at the roster, the first thing about this roster when I put together, it scared me to death because it's so thin, but then you quickly realize Cal only plays 7 guys anyway, so it doesn't matter. As long as it adds up to 7 or 8, you're in good shape. A very interesting point of Kyle Wilcher being the only power forward. This team is going to have to do what teams in the past have done, have the ability to play multiple positions, and I don't think that's going to be a huge issue. Ryan Harrow is the interesting one to me, a transfer from NC State who set out this year, goes into that all-important point guard role of following John Wall and Marcus Teague and Brandon Knight, guys like that, to see how much he learned just watching this year as a redshirt or as a transfer, to see how he handles it all. You look at it, you're like, wow, that's awfully thin, but if you looked at last year's, you would have said, wow, that's awfully thin, so you just get used to it. Trust the coach that he knows what he's doing, and yes, they are still recruiting. They want to add it, maybe 1, maybe 2 more names to that list. That would help tremendously.
Louisville's going to be adding at least 1 high schooler coming in out of Ohio, Terry Rozier, and George Mason transfer Luke Hancock. In fact, Coach Pitino is so impressed with Hancock, he's named him a co-captain before he's even played a game.
Well, it tells you about his leadership abilities. You know, I think I may sometime during the season told you when he first came in here, he was in the weight room, and the guys were on their own lifting at 7 o'clock, and 2 guys came in at 7:05, and he, as Luke, doesn't even know anybody, and said to both of them, if we're here early, you need to be on time right away. And he's a guy just feeling his way. So right then and there, everybody just immediately understood his presence as a leader, and he's been that way the whole year. So he's one of our better basketball players, but that's not why he's been named co-captain. It's because of his leadership abilities really, really stick out.
Luke Hancock is a very, very good player. He's also very crafty. He loves passing the ball very effectively. He moves the ball around, and he's going to be a key to this team. You know, we look at that roster and we think, okay, who fits where? How does the small forward work? Where's Wayne Blackshear going to be? All that kind of thing. When Rick Pitino was talking about next year's team, he said Luke Hancock will be a starter. Because I think most people had thought, well, you put Wayne Blackshear at the small forward spot and Russ Smith at the shooting guard spot. He says Luke Hancock will be a starter. So if he's going to be a starter at the small forward spot, that shooting guard spot is absolutely loaded with Russ Smith, Kevin Ware, Wayne Blackshear. At point, you've got Peyton and Terry Rozier. At power forward, this is where Louisville's biggest advantage is. You've got Shane Bohannon coming back. Angel Nunez will be his backup as a change of pace guy, very similar to a Wilcher in terms of body type and how he shoots. And then at center, you've got Gorgie and Zach. So that lineup is very loaded. The question is going to be how do they work those wings? Rick has said before that the 2 guard and the small forward, the 2 and the 3, are fairly interchangeable in his system, and they probably will have to be with all those. They've got 5 guys for 2 spots.
Well, Cal would rather not be replacing that roster every year, these huge swings and players coming and going. But until the one-and-done rule gets changed, Kentucky fans are going to have to grit their teeth and get out a new pencil every year to figure out who's on the roster.
My first year, we had 4 guys drafted last year, and hopefully this year we're going to have 6 guys in the first round. And it's part of
this century of basketball. It's just changed. I mean, I'd rather us have kids for 4 years, but it's not the rules the way they are. So in one way, I'm sad that I'm not going to get to coach these two. Anthony wanted to come back and be a point guard, and I told him he could. If he wanted to come back, I'd let him play point. Terrence, thank goodness, came back for his second year and did well, but I wish I had him for 4 years. But at the end of the day, you have to do what's right for these young people. It is about...
The only scary thing about this, the philosophy that Cal uses to go recruit the best of the best, and if they leave after 1 year, so be it. What if you hit a down year in high school basketball where it's not that great? I think the fans have kind of braced themselves that you're going to have one exceptional year, and then you may take a little dip. Then you're back to an exceptional year where last year, they lost 6 road games the year they went to the Final Four 2 years ago. And Jones and Lamb were good, but they weren't good enough to make that jump, so they come back, and now you have a team that cruises to the national championship, just one of the best teams ever assembled. And that might be the mindset to take. If you win a national title, expect a little bit of a dip the following year. Some of the guys will go pro, some won't. They'll come back and give you the veteran leadership you need going into the next season.
When we come back on the Red and Blue Review, we'll tell you about a difference maker who happens to pull Kentucky and Louisville together to change the world. As we head to the break, Howie's going to tell us what's going on in the world of CardinalSports.com.
You got it. The best place to get all your coverage, all your news, all your videos, all your post-game press conference kind of stuff. Check out CardinalSports.com. All summer long, if you're missing your Louisville sports report, we don't publish a whole lot during the summer, check out CardinalSports.com for daily coverage.
Allstate Ford, 7-time recipient of Ford Motor Company's President's Award for Customer Satisfaction, with 13 Ford certified service technicians and a best-in-class parts department. Business or personal, we are the truck experts. Allstate Ford, on the Waterson at Poplar Level Road.
It's Chevy Truck Month, and now is the time to get your new truck. Bachman has more Chevy trucks than any other dealer, all at fantastic prices. You'll get every Chevy incentive plus exclusive Bachman discounts during Chevy Truck Month. Tremendous selection of Silverados and every dependable Chevy truck. Plus, you save more during Chevy Truck Month with exclusive Bachman discounts. All Chevrolets are created equal. Bachman makes the difference.
Allison at lunch today? I'm gonna text her. I'm gonna text Allison. Hey, hold up, Matt's calling me. Matt's calling me. Hey, we got the food and we're on our way right now. Hey, who's coming, bro? You're the one who needs help.
Join the club at Sam Swope Auto Group. When you service a vehicle at any Sam Swope dealership, you automatically become a Service VIP Rewards member. You get member pricing on parts and service, lost key return, and emergency roadside assistance. Plus, you can earn points that qualify you for discounts on your next vehicle purchase, up to $2,500. The best part is becoming a member is free. Become a member today at any Sam Swope dealership. Nobody walks away because everybody saves.
The 2012 Bluegrass Golf Tour Card is available now. Play 8 great courses for one amazing price. Call 502-964-2121 or go to shop21live.com to get yours now. Hurry, they won't last long.
Kentucky and Louisville players get along a whole lot better than Kentucky Louisville fans, and one of the organizations that brings together Cardinals and Wildcats to tour the world essentially doing Christian ministry is this group based out of Campbellsville, Kentucky called Sports Reach.
Sports Reach is a Christian sports ministry that has a purpose of using sports to share the gospel around the world. States, we do prison ministry, we do different sports, we do basketball, slow pitch softball, fast pitch softball, baseball, kickball, we do all kinds of things. So if you've got a sport we're not even involved in, but you really feel like that God wants you to use that to minister to people, let me know and we'll look at it. Peyton Stephen went to China with us. We've had Josh Harrelson, John Hood, guys that have traveled. Tubby Smith, when he was here, came help us out our auction. We've had a lot of those guys. We have a lot of different major college players that have gone with us to traveled overseas. Some countries are open to where we can share the gospel and some are not. The ones obviously that are open, we're hoping they'll grow in their faith and be able to share what Jesus means in their lives. In other countries, it's a little more quiet about things we can do and can't do. But in our Bible study times, we have a great time of guys getting really growing in the Lord as we get away. Never has been. It's funny because we've had guys like 1 year we took all SEC team, and had guys from Vandy and Kentucky, and Kyle Macy coached our team that year. So we've had guys from all like that, and they'll kind of talk a little bit, but it really doesn't matter. Jim Hardy, who's an assistant coach at Campbell's University, on our first softball mission trip, said something that I've told the story forever, but sums it all up. We'd played 6 softball games at a prison that day, and we were tired and sore, and we were sitting in the hot tub in Jackson, Mississippi, and Jim looked at me and said, "Robbie, I almost feel guilty." I said, "Why?" He said, "I'm playing softball all day and telling people about Jesus. How's it get better than that?" So that pretty well sums it up.
Got a pretty good deal there going. If you go to a Kentucky-Louisville basketball game, you'll see Robbie there. He works with the athletes, trying to recruit guys to go on trips with him. And you can get involved with it, too. You can donate to the ministry. You can actually go on some of these athletic-type mission trips. And the best way to reach out to Robbie Spears and Sports Reach is to go to their website, sportsreach.org. You can find out all the information about how you can get involved. They got a big program right now where they want to take shoes all over the world, and you can help them. See you next time on Red and Blue.
The 2012 Bluegrass Golf Tour Card featuring Chariot Run, Bardstown Country Club at Maywood, Rosewood Country Club, Indian Springs, Cave Valley Golf Resort, the Falls Golf Resort, the Bull, and Stonecrest Golf Course is available now. Get your golf tour card and play 8 great courses with cart for one low price. Call 502-964-2121 or go to shop21live.com to get yours now. You can play anytime, but you must get your golf tour card now.